Hey everybody, what is going on? Hexlex here. I got another Master Duel video for you. Coming back to Gold Pride Punk. It's been a long time since we've played Gold Pride, actually. Not quite as long since we played a Punk variant. That was a little more recently, but actually still been a hot minute since we played one of those too. Really excited to get into this deck though. Punk is definitely one of my favorite archetypes. Easy top 5 for me, and is actually getting some more follow-up support that has just been announced. So if you want to see me talk and review, and review this follow-up Punk support, definitely go ahead and check out the link in the description below. There you'll find my Patreon page, patreon.com/hexlex. And today, the same day, and actually the exact same time this video is going up, I'm also talking about those Punk reviews over there. I actually upload every single day over on Patreon, and it's all exclusive videos with dual lives, gameplay that didn't make the channel, and we do a lot of talking about card reveals and OCG meta formats. So if you're interested in that, link again in the description below, patreon.com/hexlex. So getting on to the deck profile here. Yeah, like I said, it's been a long time since I've played the Gold Pride cards. Really, pretty much since they came out. But we do have two new ones to take a look at here. Gold Pride Eliminator is going to be the new main deck monster. Level 5 Machine Tuner that says if your life points are lower than your opponent's, special summon this card from your hand. You can banish one other Gold Pride monster from your hand, face up field, or graveyard to summon a token with the same level. But you can only use the Eliminator. The Eliminator, not the token, the Eliminator for a Synchro, Fusion, Sync, or, the extract summon for a Gold Pride monster. So we do have a new associated Gold Pride monster to go into there. That is going to be the Gold Pride Eradicator. This is actually a generic level 8 Synchro, so you can go into this with your Punk stuff too. It's got a pretty useful disruption effect during the opponent's turn. Quick effect, you can target one Fusion, Synchro, Xyz, or Link monster on the field, or if your life points are lower than your opponent's, you can target 2 and destroy them. Do keep in mind that you will have to destroy 2 of them if you do choose to use that effect, right? So make sure that your opponent has 2 extra deck monsters out, otherwise you will have to destroy your own Gold Pride Eradicator. But still a great card, pretty phenomenal for disruption. Aside from that, the Gold Pride engine is still, or the Punk engine rather, the Punk deck is still as good as ever. Even though Punk has fallen off in terms of as far as how much people are playing it, I think power level wise, it's definitely still a mid-rogue level strategy. That is to say, if a dedicated player wanted to take Punk to Master 1 or top a tournament with it, I think they could definitely do that here. Now, the big question is, considering this follow-up support for Gold Pride, is Gold Pride actually the best way to be playing a Punk deck? I don't know. I would definitely want to test some other variants before I make that call for sure, and I think I might actually do that this season. Definitely let me know in the comments below if you want to see more Punk deck profiles of different variants there. But from what I can remember, based on the Xyz armor package, it's kind of up in the air, right? Because I do actually like the Xyz armor package quite a bit in this deck. To be fair, you could also play it with the Gold Prides too, but Gold Prides definitely do have their own rank 3 they want to be going into. In that regard, I will say that the Gold Pride Eradicator serving as another form of disruption within the Gold Pride archetype is pretty good. The main way to disrupt your opponent, before was to use Rollerballer and go into the Pinballer, which we're still playing. It's just nice to have multiple options, right? Of course, you can also summon the Star Leon during your opponent's turn, or I guess during your turn, just use the effect. But it can be a little more tricky to set that up sometimes. The thing that I kind of don't like about Gold Pride with Punk is that the engines don't really lead into one another, right? There's obvious synergy in that the Punk archetype pays life points and the Gold Pride archetype wants you to have lower life points than your opponent. Obviously, I understand that. But when it comes to, because we're going to have a game here where we only open Gold Pride cards, and that doesn't, let you bridge into the Punk stuff very easily, right? If at all. And similarly, the Punk engine doesn't tend to naturally lead into Gold Pride stuff unless you kind of go all in on using your level 3s to make Chariot carry, which at that point you should probably just be setting up the Punk board anyway. So, I don't know, it's not like there's anti-synergy there, but they don't, again, really naturally play into one another. Whereas with the Xyz armor package, it's very easy to naturally end up in a scenario where you're able to have more level 3s and then overlay into them, right? So Let's see. It's actually been a minute since we've talked about Punk. So the Punk archetype, like I said, hasn't changed much right now in Master Duel, but there is some new support that's looking very, very good on the horizon there. Some things to know about playing Punk for those who might not be familiar. You definitely want to be jamming Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit, not just because of the current metagame, but for two other reasons. One, we are playing Emergency Teleport, and a lot of people don't know this, but you can use Ghost Ogre from the field. I think she's the only Ghost Girl where that's true, but you can send this card from your hand or field to the graveyard. So you can E-tally for Ghost Ogre during your opponent's turn. That is something you can do. More than that, though, Ghost Ogre is also searchable off of the Jam Dragon Drive. So there's a lot of the time where you're not going to need to search anything else off of it. You can just grab the Ghost Ogre and have more disruption set up for your opponent's turn there. We are playing over 40 in this deck because there's a number of cards we don't really want to draw here. You know, these trap cards are all very searchable, same with the field spells, so ideally we really don't want to open these. The Better Luck Next Time is actually also searchable, but can also just lead us into Gold Pride plays, so that's why we're playing 2 of it, and we don't necessarily mind opening it for that reason. If I was playing a 40 card deck, I'd probably only play 1 copy of this. Like, if you want to trim this down to 40, I'd probably cut a Better Luck Next Time and probably just one of the hand traps, like maybe the Nib if you really wanted to, or like one of the Veilers, right? So there's a lot of people that are playing the Gamma in this deck, and I did almost play Gamma myself, but I don't know. At the same time, I don't think this deck has a ton of plays on turn 1 that don't involve you having a monster on the field. It's pretty much just E-Tally and the Foxy's here, right? Which, I mean, to be fair, those do tend to eat the Ash Blossom a lot of the time, but also, like, I guess to be fair, with the E-Tally, you can just grab the Gamma too. I totally forgot about that interaction. Although I will say that a level 2 tuner is not like that great in this deck because of the way that our levels work out. We have a lot of 3s and then we have 5s and 8s. So I guess to be fair, you could play Baron de Fleur and then you could potentially go 2 plus 8. Or of course you could just play like the Excel Stardust and then make a Baron that way as well. So I mean, you could play that. It wouldn't be bad, certainly, but I don't know. I decided that I valued the Veiler and the Ghost Ogre and Imperms a little more highly in this particular build. And Nibiru too. I was off Nibiru for a little bit when Tenpai was like really, really big when it first came out, but you know, I don't think we're in such a meta. I don't think even necessarily we're at that point where you have to be playing specifically into exactly Tenpai. And I do think that Nibiru is very, very good in Max C formats in particular, right? So, alright, that's going to pretty much do it for the list. That's everything I have to really say about it. I'm going to cover it card by card here, since it's been a while since we played again both Punk or Gold Pride. So, let's see what we got here. We're on 2 Effect Veiler, 3 Max C, 1 Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit, 3 Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, 1 Yukio Punk Sharakusai, 1 Gagaku Punk Wagon, 1 Joruri Punk Madam Spider, 3 No Punk Zaamine, 2 Gold Pride Leon, 3 Gold Pride Captain Carey, 2 No Punk Deer Note, 1 Gold Pride Rollerballer, 1 Gold Pride Eliminator, 3 No Punk Foxy Tune, 1 No Punk Ogre Dance, 1 Nibiru the Primal Being, 1 Punk Jam Extreme Session, 2 Gold Pride Better Luck Next Time, 2 Emergency Teleport, 2 Called by the Grave, 1 Cross-Out Designator, 2 Infinite Permanence, 1 Jewelry Punk Dangerous Gabu, and then finally 1 Gold Pride. Start your engines! And that's going to do it for our 42 card main deck. For the extra, we are on 1 Yukio Punk Rising Carp, 1 Gold Pride Pin Baller, 1 Gold Pride Star Leon, 1 Scarlight Red Dragon Archfiend, 1 Adamancipator Risen Dragite, 1 Punk Jam Dragon Drive, 1 Gold Pride Eradicator, 2 Yukio Punk Amazing Dragon. You don't need 2 for Punk, by the way. You could definitely just play 1. But for grind games, a second one is nice to have sometimes. 1 Psychic End Punisher, 1 number 3 Cicada King, 1 Gold Pride Chariot Carry, 1 Downer Magician, 1 Divine Arsenal Awe, Zeus Sky Thunder, and then finally 1 SP Little Knight. That's going to do it for our list. Let's take a look at some games. Alright, we're going to kick things off here with a game against Dragon Link, and I actually wanted to start with this one in particular because this was the game I was alluding to in the deck profile portion where we actually end up only using really Gold Pride stuff here. We do open the Punk Field spell, but no other... Well, I guess we opened Wagon as well, but... Not really any other punk cards there. So, I mean, yeah, we have the Wagon, but I think I just actually normal summon it here and then use it to make the rank 3. Alright, Chariot Carry gets to grab Start Your Engines. That'll destroy a monster upon special summon. We can then overlay into the Chariot Carry here. Chariot Carry F going to detach Captain Carry and grab the Better Luck Next Time for the follow-up turn. Gonna mill the Pinballer there because I can actually bring it back with the Gold Pride Leon. And from there I'll just set and then pass over. From there, Chariot Carry goes back into the extra, and we can summon out the Captain Carry and draw a card. So, with this setup, we have actually multiple ways we can interact with our opponent on turn 1, or on their turn 1 rather, turn 2 of the game. We can use the Roller Baller, which is actually quite nice because this is a way to remove multiple monsters on the field. With the effect, this card is fusion summoned, you can equip face-up monsters your opponent controls to it, up to the number of fusion materials used. I don't think this targets, it doesn't say target, but I don't know if equipping inherently targets off the top of my head. Either way, that's a way to remove 3 monsters, potentially. Star Leon can also pop a monster and then also make its attack really big as well, so. Alright, opponent's going to lead off with the Bestial Lubellion here, going for a Ball Drake. We do, of course, also have a good backup plan in hand in the form of Nibiru. I'm going to go for the Start Your Engines here. It might have been a little premature to use this on Black Metal Dragon, because they will also get the Search with a pop, right? But I really didn't want the Striker Dragon to grab the Field spell here, so... we also get the Leon, so now we can go for both Star Leon and Roller Baller here. And we have enough bodies on the board to do it, certainly. Alright, they're going to grab the Meteor Dragon there, going for the Druiswarm, and here I pretty much have to use the Roller Baller, because they have the Lubellion engraved, so I don't want them to be able to send my Pinballer to the graveyard, so, or Roller Baller rather. I'm going to use Pinballer to equip the Druiswarm. Meteor Dragon's coming down here. They're going to actually tribute that off for the Bestial Lubellion. From here, I'm going to use Star Leon's effect, and they're going to use the Ball Drake right away. That way they can use Ball Drake to banish the Star Leon. But at the same time, I can just use the Star Leon to get rid of the Ball Drake. And in that regard, we're actually doing a really good job of keeping monsters off of our opponent's field here for them to be able to combo with. So, yeah, because they lose the Lubellion to the Tribute, and then I'm just going to Star Leon, and like I said, my Star Leon will get banished, but it'll still resolve and pop the Ball Drake here. Levianeer coming down, a bit of a jump scare, going to pop my Better Luck Next Time as well as the Pinballer. Druiswarm then gets to send Captain Carry, but now I get to Nibiru since my opponent has gone out of their way to clear out my board. So we're going to do that when the Black Metal Dragon comes down. They did still have one more card in hand, right? So I was a little bit worried that maybe this would be more follow-up plays, but at the same time, only one Dragon here with a Nib token I don't think would be enough to make plays, and I definitely wanted to Nib while the Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon, if I can talk today, geez, while this was up so that way it couldn't use the effect, right? Alright, getting a Max C here. That's not bad for a follow-up turn. I would have liked a Punk card, but we can make do with this Better Luck Next Time that we searched last turn. It's going to give us the new Eliminator, and then by banishing Captain Carry and making a level 3 token, we can synchro into the other new Gold Pride card, the Synchro Monster, the Eradicator. This will offer some good disruption for the opponent's turn. We can't OTK here on the Crackback, but, you know, we have the Eradicator, we have the Maxi. I'm feeling pretty good about going into our opponent's turn here. Alright, so Chaos Space ends up being their top deck, sending the Rocket Recharger in hand, grabbing the White Dragon Wyvern Burster. I will, of course, be using Maxi after that effect has resolved. Now, Wyvern Burster is going to get summoned here, drawing the Ogre Dance as they link off into their Striker Dragon. And here we get the Ash Blossom. So they do Chain Block, but I think they actually Chain Blocked in the wrong order here. The way that you would Chain Block, like, Chain Blocking like this is good on turn 1, because a lot of the time you'll already have an extender, so getting the Boot Sector launch is more valuable. But in this exact scenario, I really think my opponent should have done Chainlink 1 Wyvern Burster, Chainlink 2 Boot Sector launch, because in the situation where I have Ash Blossom, which I do, you know, if they did it the other way around, they can still make plays. They could go into like an SP if literally nothing else, right? But, yeah, here, they're just going to have the Boot Sector launch and literally nothing else, and, oh, okay, no, not nothing else. They have the Chaos Space Search here, or Draw Search, jeez. And then now they're going to concede, so. So, yeah, I mean, like I said, I was, you know, I wasn't the most hopeful when I saw that opening hand. I was like, oh, we don't even have any Punk stuff here. But the Gold Pride engine was actually just enough to do it by itself. So, that's pretty cool. Love to see it. we do have some more games here, and those do involve punk monsters. So let's go ahead and take a look at the next duel. Alright, next game is going to be against Tenpai. I think that the last one is too, because I'm pretty sure I saw 2 lost coin flips, but us going first. And that is the case here, so... Alright, here we got the punk stuff. We got all the punk stuff here. I am actually not too thrilled about opening the field spell and the dangerous Gabu. Again, we... whoops, my alarm is going off there. Again, we play 42 cards to hopefully avoid opening, you know, either of those, but especially both of them. But anyway. It's all good. We still have a pretty good opening hand here. Gonna go for the Rising Carb. I guess one thing that is nice about opening the field spell is that you get your draws sooner rather than later, which is, you know, tends to be preferable when you're comboing out there. Alright, hold my breath when I resolve the Rising Carb, as I always do. If you're wondering where to, what the choke point for punk combos are, Ash Blossoming the Rising Carb is devastating. Here we had a call by, but I really would have rather have not used it on the Ash Blossom because I have one in hand too, but I still definitely would there if I had to. Alright, and there we go. So we get to set our 3 and then pass back over. Here we get to search for the Ghost Ogre. Normally what I would have done is I actually would have used the Extreme Session effect to special summon a Madam Spider that we searched, but Madam Spider's only function is to grab the Gabu, which we already have. So here, like I touched upon the deck profile, you can end on a Ghost Ogre search naturally as part of your combo line, which is why you always want to play at least 1 copy in your punk decks. So, oh, this wasn't Tenpai, that's right! It was a Layer of Darkness deck. I don't know if it's like an Infernoid deck specifically. I should have looked at it actually. I just saw a lost coin flip and going first, and I, of course, you know, just assumed. But yeah, no, this is actually a pretty interesting development here. So they're going to tribute my own monster for their monster gate, thanks to the field spell. But I'm just going to go ahead and Ash Blossom it. So they're rocking a Sky Striker package here as well, going for the Mecha Hornet drones off of the Engage. Mecha Hornet Drone's going to throw down the token and then link that off for a Kagari here. Kagari effect is naturally going to try to get back that Engage to hand. But I'm definitely going to Gabu here. I do not want them to add back the Engage. I imagine they would probably get the Widow Anchor, right? Because then they'd have 3 spells. It was Infernoid, that's right. Because then they'd have 3 spells and they could just steal my monster and link it off for plays. Alright, I'm going to Ghost Ogre the field spell here. I don't even really care about the token. I just mostly don't really think I'm going to need Ghost Ogre for the rest of this game. So I figured I'll just use it here. Because we do have this face down E-Tele, which we're of course going to flip up here. Also, this set card is like 100% imperm because it was set directly across in the call by. And sure enough, there it is right there. So imperm coming down on my Xamine, but I'm really not that concerned about it. Because I do have the Jam Dragon Drive in my graveyard. So, not only do I get my draw for paying 600 anyway, but I can bring back the Jam Dragon Drive here. Now, the Harma deck does, unfortunately, banish the Jam Dragon Drive. So, I failed to read my opponent's Infernoid monster. But it's okay, because we are just going to top deck the Foxy Tune here anyway. I'm not even going to go for the effect. I'm just going to special it and then battle over this, because the math works out here that even with the life point buff, I'm still 100 less than my opponent, meaning I can go for the Psychic End Punisher, and it's actually still unaffected by my opponent's activated effects. So, again, if we can't OTK, I want to put them into an awkward position going into top deck mode, and sure enough, they have nothing that can contend with the Pep here. Finding a Gold Pride Better Luck next time. This is actually really, really good. And my opponent's just going to concede right on the spot. Because not only is that more plays, but the Better Luck next time is also going to reduce my life points. Meaning that the Psychic End Punisher is only going to get stronger and stronger. So there we go. Yeah, I thought that was Tenpai. That's my bad. It was actually just Sky Striker Infernoid. So there we go. Alright, we have one more duel to take a look at. Let's finish off with that one. Alright, I triple checked just to make sure this time, and it was in fact Tenpai. That's going to be our third opponent here. Once again, we did lose this coin flip, but our opponent's going to elect to let us go first. And yeah, this time we have both the Punk and the Gold Pride plays. Opponent's going to try to draw phase Maximi, but we have the Ash Blossom. Still think that's a misplay, walks directly into Gamma. God, if I was on the Gamma, Excel Stardust Baron here, this game would just be so over, like, right away. Alright, I'm gonna start with the Better Luck next time and the Captain Carry. Mostly just trying to bait out a potential Ash Blossom here. Granted, I do have the call by, so I could just use that, but I'd rather not if I don't have to. Besides, since my opponent let me go first, I'm assuming that they're going to be on tenpai. And call by actually has some pretty solid uses against that deck, particularly against Genroku. It's very, very good, but there's also a number of graveyard interactions that the tenpai deck has. The Fadra, the Synchros coming back. Call by potentially being useful against those, so... Alright, I'm doing a fairly standard Punk line at this point. Searching out my field spell with the Wagon, going for the Jam Dragon Drive. Deer Note's going to bring back the Sharakusai. Then we can have that set up for the opponent's turn. My opponent is going to try to DD Crow my Sharakusai away, but I'm going to go ahead and call by that. I definitely want to make sure that we have the access to the Jam Dragon Drive during the opponent's turn. Yeah, so we'll get rid of that DD Crow. Opponent's on 3 of those. It's an interesting choice for Hand Trap and Tenpai. I don't think it's bad, I just think it's a little bit odd, but not bad. Alright, gonna use the field spell to get a draw in, and then I'm also gonna use the field spell to special my Madam Spider. This lets me pay 600 to search the Gabu, and then get another draw off the field spell, and now I can use my remaining 2 level 3s to make a rank 3. Since I already activated Better Luck next time, I'm gonna go for the Cicada King, giving me another monster negate on my end board. So, this end board has a ton of interaction here. And it's all set up too. It's all not, manufactured, right? We have the monster negate in the form of Cicada King, the monster negate in the form of Gabu. We have an on-summon destroy for start your engines, and then, of course, the Sharakusai with Jam Dragon Drive is going to make the Amazing Dragon for multiple bounces. Then we happen to draw the Ghost Ogre too, which is nice. Hydra coming down here. I'm going to just use my Cicada King first. And give it the old negate. Also buffs the Cicada King up to 3k defense. Alright, they're moving to battle. And then they're going to go for the Sangen Kaiman here. Now, I think this was pretty poor timing on my opponent's part to do this in response to the Sharakusai. Because all this means is that now they summoned the Fadra, or the Pydra. And then now I can just go for Amazing Dragon and bounce both, not Pydra, Shundra. I can bounce Shundra and their Pydra. They're going to try to activate the Shundra effect to quick Synchro, but again, I have another monster negate. It's the Gabu. Keep in mind, I could have also just used Start Your Engines, but of course, I'm already summoning the Amazing Dragon, so no sense in wasting it here. Alright, Shundra has been negated. We get to draw. We get to bounce. We get to special the Jam Dragon Drive because our opponent's chained to a Punk card. We get to pay 600 to search. And then because we pay life points, we get to draw again, all during our opponent's turn. And it's going to be a pretty easy W from there. So there we go. Showcasing the power of Gold Pride and Punk individually, and then, of course, all in one. So hopefully you enjoyed those games. I think they turned out pretty well myself. And that is going to go ahead and do it for this one. So why don't we just move on now to our outro. Hey everybody, Hexlex here. Just want to give you a huge thanks for watching all the way to the very end of the video. Believe it or not, that is actually one of the best ways that you can support the channel, is by watching the videos in their entirety. But there are many ways in which you can support the channel if you are so interested. The names that you're seeing on screen here, I gotta give an extra special thanks to, because these are people who have chosen to either become a member on YouTube, which if you're interested you can do as well via the join button next to the subscribe button down there, or have signed up over on Patreon and become members there. Link to that is going to be in the description below. Without the support that is being offered by, again, all the people that you're seeing on screen right here, I would not be able to take the time to dedicate to uploading daily YouTube videos. So thank you so very much. But there are also other ways you can support as well. Again, link to the description below. If you like my deck tracker that you'll see in a lot of my videos, the Untapped Companion, you can download that for free, and if you use my affiliate link down there, then that also goes a long way towards supporting the channel. That's again free. So is subscribing here on YouTube. That's also free and a huge way to support. You can also check out Twitch, once again linked in the description below. Following and subscribing over there will not only support as well, but also give you notifications of when I go live if you want to catch some of the live streams. But really, no matter how you choose to support, it all adds up and it all definitely means the world. So thank you, each and every one of you. For now, this is Hexlex. I'm going to be signing out, but more than that, I'm hoping that you have a fantastic day.